So in the last lecture, we have taken two processes which basically belongs to closed system. Okay, one of them was constant pressure process, and second was isothermal process, that is constant temperature process. Okay, so for this lecture, we'll be starting with the fourth process, and it is constant entropy process. It is constant entropy. This is called as constant entropy process. Constant entropy process, right? So this is also known as isentropic. Try to understand. Constant entropy. Constant means iso. Okay, and entropy is entropy, right? So it's an isentropic. It's an isentropic process, right? Constant entropy. Constant is iso. Okay, so it's an isentropic process. See, this process, it is also known as reversible adiabatic process. Try to understand. This is also known as reversible adiabatic process. This process, it is also known as reversible adiabatic process, or it is also known as adiabatic process. Simple. Or this is also known as adiabatic process. Okay, or it is also known as frictionless process. This is also known as frictionless process. Try to understand. See, whether it's a constant entropy, or it's a isentropic, or it's a reversible adiabatic, or it's a adiabatic, or it's a frictionless process. Okay, so you have a multiple name for the single process: constant entropy, isentropic, reversible adiabatic, or frictionless process. Okay, so it stands for a single process, right? So see, all of you, let's start deriving. Okay, so we are basically interested to derive. Okay, first, what will be the PV diagram for this process, followed by what is the relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. Then what is the amount of work transfer, what is the amount of heat transfer, okay, what is the change in enthalpy, what is the change in internal energy. Okay, so as like what we are done for the previous processes, same we will do it for this process. Okay, so let us start. Okay, let's start this. Okay, so in order to start with, okay, let us start with the basic equation of the first law of thermodynamics. Let's start with the basic equation, okay, of the first law of thermodynamics. So what is the first law of thermodynamics for a non-cyclic process? I'll just write down. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics for closed system, undergoing non-cyclic process. Okay, so we will be writing the first law of thermodynamics for a closed system undergoing a non-cyclic process. Okay, so what that law say basically? Okay, change in internal energy. See, this you might have learned. Okay, change in internal energy is given by difference between heat and work. Okay, so this law I already told you. If it's a cycle, if it's only a cycle, Q is equal to W. But here we don't have a cycle, it's a non-cycle. So difference between heat and work, it is given by change in internal energy, right? So if you just revert back to the previous lectures, okay, you will be able to memorize it. Change in internal energy is given by difference between heat and work. Okay, now let us write down, okay, this equation in the smaller form. Okay, so if small change in internal energy is given by small heat transfer minus small work transfer. Okay, see, this is for a total change in internal energy is given by difference between heat transfer and work transfer. Now I will write down for a small change. So small change in internal energy is a small heat transfer minus small work, right? So see, I just, what I will do here is I will just bring this equation. Okay, so du plus del W is equal to del Q. Du plus del W is equal to del Q. Try to understand. Du plus del W is equal to del Q, right? What I have done, I just bring this term on the left hand side, right? So it becomes positive. Okay, now see, try to understand. See, what do you mean by adiabatic process? Okay, now this is very important. Okay, what is adiabatic process? That you should be able to understand, right? So for adiabatic process, okay, see, this is very important. For adiabatic process, okay, for adiabatic process, value of heat transfer is 0. Try to understand. So whenever it is an adiabatic process, value of heat transfer is 0. See, what do you understand by adiabatic process? Whenever there is no heat transfer, okay, what is heat transfer? That is del Q. Okay, so whenever there is no heat transfer, it is called as adiabatic process, right? So for adiabatic process, value of del Q is equal to 0. So if you put this value here, what we'll get is du plus del W is equal to 0. Okay, du plus del W is equal to 0. Okay, so now see, this is capital U. Okay, this is capital W, right? Now what we'll do? Okay, we will divide it by mass. Okay, this equation basically we will divide it by mass. Okay, so see, when you divide this capital U by mass, okay, let us divide it. Okay, let's divide it. So what we will get? Capital U by mass. So capital U by mass becomes small u. Try to understand. See, let me write down. Okay, if you want, I will just do it here in the, what you can say. Okay, on the rough side, I'll do that. Okay, see, all of you, delta U. Okay, if I just need to write down the formula for delta U. See, this formula have been already explained to you. Still, I'm repeating these formulas. Okay, delta U. Okay, so if you want, I can just bring this. Okay, what we have done in the previous lecture. Okay, if you just want that recap, I'll also do that. Okay, see, all of you just see here. Let me rewind it so that you will be able to understand. See, I'll just put this on. Okay, you can see this. What is the formula for U? It's CV into T. You can see what is the formula for U? It is CV into T. Okay, so if you want to write down the formula for du, try to understand. What is du? It is CV into dt. Is it okay? See, u is equal to CV into T, right? Then what is the formula for du? Du is equal to CV into dt. Okay, is it okay or not? Let me clear. See, u is equal to CV into T. You can see here du is equal to CV into dt. Okay, so that is the only thing which I'll write down. So du is equal to CV into dt, okay, plus del W, right? Del W. Okay, so what is the formula for del W? Okay, I will again tell you. Okay. See, because these are the formulas which not I am going to writing directly. Okay, because this has been already taken there. Okay, that is the reason why. Okay, I'm not going into the detail again. See, what is the formula for del W? It is P into dV, right? Del W is given by P into dV, right? See, are you able to understand it? This formula, del W is equal to P into dV. Yes or no? You understood? Del W is equal to P into dV. Whether we have taken that derivation. See, I'll just bring this again. You can see W is equal to integration P dV. Then what is del W? You can see what is del W? It's P dV. Del W is P dV, right? Del W is P dV. When you integrate both the sides, you will get it. You can say del W is equal to P into dV, right? So that is the thing only which I'll write down. Del W is given by P into dV. Okay, is equal to 0. Right? Now see all of you. What is the equation for P into V? PV is equal to RT. Okay, because this is a small one. See, P into capital V is equal to MRT. P into small v is equal to RT, right? Yes or no? Are you able to understand it? Let me know. Are you able to understand these expressions? Are you able to understand it or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So from this equation, what I will do, I'll just write down the value of P. So what is the value of P? It's RT by V. P is given by RT by. See, none of the formula I have written as it is, because these derivations have been already explained to you in the previous lectures. Okay, so P is equal to RT by V. Okay, so let us put this. Okay, so let this be equation number 1. Let this be equation number 2. Okay, let this be equation number 3. Right, now let us put this value in equation number 3. Let's put that. So what we will get? We will get CV into dt plus value of P. I will put value of P is RT by V. RT by V. Okay, into dV is equal to 0. Right, into dV is equal to 0. Is it okay with this one? Okay, now let us solve it. Let's solve it. Okay, so what I will do, I will let me call this as one more equation. Let this be equation number 5. Okay, so I'll dividing. Okay, the equation 5 by CV into T. I will divide this entire equation. Okay, by CV into T. Okay, so let's see what we are getting. CV into dt divided by CV into T. I will divide this entire equation plus RT by V. Okay, into dV. Again, it is divided by CV into T. See, CV into T. I need to divide everything by CV into T. Is equal to 0. Right? Is equal to 0. You can see CV gets cancelled. What is remaining? It's dt by T plus TT gets cancelled. So you can see T and this T gets cancelled. You can check it. This T gets cancelled. What is remaining? You can check it. What is remaining? R. See, you can see TT gets cancelled. What is remaining? dV by V, R by CV. I'll just write down R by CV into dV by V. Okay, is equal to 0. See, what is remaining? R by CV, dV by V, dt gets cancelled, is equal to 0, right? So E is equal to dt by T plus, now you can check it, this R by CV. See, this thing you should be able to remember, R by CV. What is R by CV? You can check it. See, let us check. What is R? R by CV. You can check. R by CV is gamma minus 1, right? R by CV is gamma minus 1. Right? So that value we will put. R by CV is gamma minus 1 into dV by V is equal to 0, right? Into dV by V is equal to 0. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it okay? Okay, now what we'll do, we'll just integrate this equation. Let me integrate this. Let me call this equation number 6. Okay, so integrate it. Integrating equation 6. So let's integrate the equation number 6. Okay, so let us integrate this equation. Okay, let's integrate that equation number 6. Okay, so we will integrate it. So see, what is the integration of dt by t? Huh? What is the integration of dt by t? It is log to the base e t. Okay. See, integration of dt by t, it's log t, right? Plus gamma minus 1 as it is. What is the integration of this one? dv by v. Okay, it's a log v, right? It's a log v, right? Log v. Again to the base e, right? Is equal to, what is the integration of 0? Obviously, it will be a constant value. So log e c1, right? Log e c. Have you understood this one? Just integrate this equation. So integration of dt by t, it's a log t. Integration of 1 by v is log v. Okay, and integration of 0, it's a log. Again, some constant value, right? C1. Okay, see, this is basically log a plus log b. Okay, so when we have log a plus log b, we can write down it as log a into b. So I'll just write down like this: log e into t. You can check it into t. Now see, whenever you have any multiplication or coefficient of the log, it will go as its power, right? So see, this log a plus log b, it is log a into b. Okay, log a, this is log a, and this is, see, this is log a log b. So this is log a into b. But you can see this power coefficient. So it will go as a power of v. Okay, so I'll just write down this as gamma minus 1. Okay, raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to log e c1. Log e c1. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it okay or not? Is it okay with this one? So now let us, okay, now let's solve this. Okay, so what we'll get? Okay, we'll get it this as t into v raised to power, okay, yeah, see this I'll make it small v, okay, this I will make it small, this is again v, so t into small v raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to c1, right? So this log gets cancelled, t into v raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to c1. Is it okay? So from this, what value of t we will get? T is equal to c1 upon v raised to power gamma minus 1. Okay, so let us call this as equation number 7. Okay. See, this equation will be very useful. This equation will be very useful, right? Okay, now see, all of you, we know that PV is equal to RT, right? See, you can see this one. PV, just time before we written, PV is equal to RT. Okay, that means what? PV by T is equal to some constant value, right? All of you see this one. PV is equal to RT. Just a time before we are written, see, PV is equal to RT. That means PV by T is equal to R, and you know that R is a constant value. Okay, so is equal to constant. R is equal to constant, right? So from this equation, I will write down this as P into V by T, and let me call that constant as C2. Okay, I will call that constant as C2 because here I introduced one constant C1, so I will call the second constant as C2. Okay, so from this equation, I will write down the value of T as, okay, PV by C2. PV by C2. Let me write down this as equation number 8. Okay, let me write down this as equation number 8. Okay. Now see, if you compare the equation 7 and 8, so from equation 7 and 8, from equation 7 and 8, you can see that their left-hand sides are equal. We can equate their right-hand sides. Okay. So what you can write down? We can write down this as, okay, C1, you can write down this as C1 upon V raised to power gamma minus 1, C1 upon V raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to PV by C2 is equal to PV, see, PV by C2 is equal to PV by C2, right? PV by C2, right? So we just let's cross multiply. So what we'll get? P into small v raised to power gamma minus 1, P into small v raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to C1 into C2 is equal to C1 into C2, right? So what we'll get here? See, you can check it. P V, see here power is 1. Okay, so I'll just write down power is 1 and this is multiplication, so there will be addition. So plus gamma minus 1 is equal to C1 into C2. We will call it as one constant, let it be C. So what we'll get? We'll get P into V raised to power 1 and this minus 1 gets cancelled. Okay, so PV raised to power gamma is equal to C, right? PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Is it okay? So what do we got? Basically, we got the equation for the adiabatic process, and that is PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. So this is the equation for adiabatic process. This is the equation for adiabatic process. Okay. See, this is the equation for adiabatic process. Let me clear it. Okay. In the last lecture, we have seen the isothermal process, right? In the last lecture, we have seen the isothermal process. Okay. So for isothermal process, what was the law? You can check it. See, this was the isothermal process. So for isothermal process, the law was P into V is equal to C. See, for isothermal process, law was P into V is equal to C. Now we are seeing which process? Adiabatic process. So what is the law? PV raised to power gamma. Okay, so this is the additional term. It is raised to power gamma. Okay, so PV raised to power gamma is equal to C, and it is your adiabatic process. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Is it okay? PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. It's adiabatic process. Is that okay, all of you? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us start. Let's start with the PV diagram. Let's start with the PV diagram. So I will start now with the PV diagram. Okay, I will start now with the PV diagram. Or Okay, so let's start. Now only we can start. Let's start with the PV diagram. Let's start with the PV diagram. Okay, so if you talk about the PV diagram, okay, so let's consider this is the pressure. Okay, on the left hand side we have pressure. Okay, here in the vertical scale we have pressure, on the horizontal scale we have volume, right? Now what we will do is, okay, let's say we have the point number 1, okay, where this is basically straight one, where the pressure is P1, okay, and volume here is V1, right? Volume is V1, okay. On the similar hand, see, at point number 2, okay, we have the pressure as a P2 and volume as V2. Okay, volume as V2, right? Now we are interested to move from point number 1 to point number 2. Let's say we need to move it from point number 1 to point number 2. Okay, so we will move it like this. Okay, we'll move it like this. Okay, so we will move it like this. Okay, we will move it like this. Try to understand. Okay, now see, this is an adiabatic process. This is the adiabatic process. So whenever it's adiabatic, you should write down the law. Okay, but you see, if you just see previous process, okay, if you just see the previous process, I will just show you the previous process. See, this was the isothermal process, right? This was the isothermal process. So it will look like same like adiabatic process. You can see which process I have done now, adiabatic. See, this was the adiabatic. This is the adiabatic process, and this is the isothermal process, right? So how you will differentiate between both the processes? Okay, you need to write down the law on the process. So for isothermal, we have written PV is equal to C. For adiabatic, I will write down PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Try to understand. See, whenever it is written as PV is equal to C, it's isothermal. Whenever it is written as PV raised to power gamma is equal to C, it's adiabatic. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Right? Now see, if you just see the area, which is lying below that process, okay. So see, I will move from point number 1 to point number 2 through the adiabatic process. So if I just get the area below this process, okay, so this is the area which is coming below the process, right? So if you just calculate the area below this process, okay, so this area will give you the value of work transfer. So this area will give you the value of work transfer. What is the work transfer during 1 to 2? Okay, so this will give you the area during process 1 to 2, right? See, if you see the process 1 to 2, where the pressure is decreasing and volume is increasing. So when pressure decreases, volume increases, such sort of process it is called as expansion. Okay, so such process is an expansion. This is the expansion process, right? So what we are getting, we are getting the work done during expansion. We are getting the work done during expansion. Try to understand. This is adiabatic, right? This is adiabatic expansion. Try to understand. Adiabatic expansion, right? And whenever work is done, okay, whenever work is done, what do you understand by expansion? In expansion, always work is been done. Okay, and whenever the work is been done, it is to be taken as positive. Whenever work is done, it is to be taken as positive. So this value will be positive, right? Let us go to the next case. Let's go to the next case. Okay, exact same diagram, but I will draw it in a reverse direction. Okay, so let this be again a pressure scale. Let this be again the volume scale. Okay, now my initial point, let's say here is 1. Okay, this is my initial point 1, where I have some value of P1, okay, and some value of V1. Okay, now from this point, let's say I need to move to the point number 2, okay, which is basically lying here, where pressure is P2 and volume is V2. Okay, so you can see from process 1 to 2, what is happening is pressure is increasing, okay, but the volume is decreasing. Pressure will increase from P1 to P2, volume will decrease from V1 to V2, right? So I'll just draw that process here. Okay, so I have drawn that process here. You can see this is the process. Okay, now see again you will confused, okay, whether it's isothermal, okay, or it's adiabatic. So you should write down the law. What is the law for isothermal? It is PV is equal to C, and now we are seeing it as adiabatic. Okay, so you should write down the law for that process. It is PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Okay, so this law shows that it's adiabatic. Okay. Now see, during process, what happens is pressure got increased, but volume got decreased. You can see pressure was increased, but volume was decreased. So such process it is called as compression. Okay. Such process it is called as compression, right? So see, during compression, what happens is work get consumed. Okay, work gets consumed. So how you will calculate that work? Just calculate the area below the process. Okay, so this is the area which is coming below the process, right? So this is the area which is coming below the process, and this will give you the value of work done. Okay, so this will give you the value of work done. That is W1, right? But you will understand that this area, this work will be negative. This work will be negative. Why it is negative? Because it's a compression, and in compression always the work gets consumed. Okay, so this work is negative. Have you understood these processes? Have you understood these processes? Have you understood these processes? Whether have you understood these processes? Have
Yes,
you understood this PV diagram? Let me know so that we can move ahead. Is it okay with this one? Let me know.
yes, sir.
Okay, now let's see. Once we have finished with the PV diagram, see, we are going as what we have done for the previous lecture. See, once we have finished with the PV diagram, we will go to the PVT relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. Let's do that. Okay, so we will go for PVT relation. This is very important. PVT relation. Okay, so see, as I told you, okay, see, just time before we have written this law. PV is equal to C. Okay, see, PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Let me write down that law. PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. So this is a law. PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Okay. Similarly, I can write down this law as P into capital V raised to power gamma is equal to C. There is no power. See, whether you take it as a small v or you take it as capital V, it doesn't matter, right? See, why it doesn't matter? Because when you take small v, here it is RT. And when you take it as a capital V, here it is MRT. There is no problem. Are you able to understand? See, if I just briefly write down here, PV is equal to MRT. Okay, so PV is equal to MRT. So P into small v is equal to RT. Okay, so whether you write down this as a small v or capital V, doesn't matter, right? So I'll just write down this as P1 into V1 raised to power gamma is equal to P2 into V2 raised to power gamma is equal to C. Try to understand. What this sentence tells? Okay, product of pressure and volume raised to power gamma minus 1 is constant, right? So that is the only thing which I written. I written it for state number 1 and state number 2. So P1 into V1 raised to power gamma is equal to P2 into V2 raised to power gamma. Are you agree with this equation? Are you agree with this equation? Have you agree with this equation? This equation, which is written based on this? Yes or no? Is it okay? So see, what I will do, I will just bring this like P1 by P2. See, P1 by P2 is equal to V2 by V1 raised to power gamma. Can I do that like this? P1 by P2 is equal to V2 by V1 raised to power gamma. Okay. Let me call this as one equation. Let this be some equation. Okay. Let this be equation number, let's say 9. Let's say 10. Okay. Let this be equation number 10. Okay. So and also I'll just write down this in some other form. Can I write down this as V2 by V1? I don't understand. Then what is V2 by V1? So V2 by V1 is equal to P1 by P2 raised to power 1 by gamma. I don't understand. V2 by V1 is P1 by P2 raised to power 1 by gamma. Okay. Is it okay? Right. So listen, why it is required? Why it is required? Because I'm interested to derive the relation. Okay. Now see, as I told you just time before, you know that PV is equal to MRT, right? So I will write down P1 V1 is equal to MRT1, right? So from this I will get P1 V1 by T1 is equal to MR. Similarly, P2 V2 is equal to MRT2. So from this I will get P2 V2 by T2 is again equal to MR, right? So from these equations, what I will write down, P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, right? P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, right? See, this is the ideal gas equation which we can apply between any states. So I apply for state number 1, I applied for state number 2, right? See, this is not a new thing which I've done. This I already practiced for every process, whether it's a constant volume, constant pressure, or isothermal. Okay? So from this equation, I will just write down the value of T2 by T1. So what is T2 by T1? From this equation, T2 by T1 is equal to, you can check it, P2 by P1. See, T2 if you bring it here, and everything, see, T2 you bring it here, and P1 V1 you bring it here. So what you will get? You will get these as P2 by P1 into V2 by V1. You can check it. T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 into V2 by V1. Okay. So let me write down this. So E is equal to, what is P2 by P1? You can check it. P2 by P1. So let's keep P2 by P1 as it is. Let's keep P2 by P1 as it is and replace V2 by V1. See, value of V2 by V1. Let me call this as one more equation. What is V2 by P1? It's P1 by P2 raised to power 1 by gamma. Okay, it's P1 by P2 raised to power 1 by gamma, right? P1 by P2 raised to power 1 by gamma. Okay, so E is equal to, so I'll just write down this P2 by P1 as it is into, okay, I'll just write down this like P2 by P1 again. So when you write down this term as P2 by P1, its power becomes minus 1 by gamma, right? So this is P2 by P1 raised to power minus 1 by gamma, raised to power minus 1 by gamma, right? See, when you make it P2 by P1, its power becomes minus 1 by gamma. Okay, so what we will get here is, okay, so let us solve this. Okay, how you will solve this one? Okay, how we will solve it? So we'll get T2 by T1, T2 by T1 is equal to, I'll just write down this as, okay, P2 by P1, P2 by P1. Okay, here power is 1, you can check it. Power is 1, and here power is minus 1 by gamma. See here 1 minus 1 by gamma. So what we'll get here? T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to power gamma minus 1 by gamma, right? Gamma minus 1 by gamma. I don't understand. It's a gamma minus 1 by gamma. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? So what the thing which you have done, you have replaced the value of V2 by V1. You have replaced this value of V2 by V1, right? You have replaced the value of V2 by V1. Okay. So now what I will do, I will just rewrite that equation. Okay. So instead of now replacing V2 by V1, I will replace P2 by P1. Let's see what we'll get. I'll just write down that equation. T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 into V2 by P1, right? Into V2 by P1. See, same equation already. So what I will do, okay, let me write down this as some equation. Let this be equation number 12. Okay. Now see, earlier I replaced V2 by V1. See, this V2 by V1 I will replace. Now I will replace P2 by P1. Now I will replace this P2 by P1. Okay. So let's replace it. Okay, you can check it. What is the value of P2 by P1? P2 by P1 is equal to, you can check it. P2 by P1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power gamma. Okay, P2 by P1, just check it. P2 by P1, P2 by P1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power gamma, right? V1 by V2 raised to power gamma. So that value I'll put it now. So E is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power gamma. See, P2 by P1, you can check it. P2 by P1 is V1 by V2 raised to power gamma. So that is written into V2 by P1. Into V2 by V1. See, earlier I replaced V2 by V1. Now I am replacing P2 by P1. That is the only thing which I'm doing. So E is equal to, so I'll just write down this as, okay, V1 by V2, I will keep it as it is. v1 by v2 raised to power gamma. I will keep it as it is. This I will change it. Okay. So this I will write down this as v1 by v2. See, this term I have written as it is. This term I will write down this as v1 by v2. So when you make it reversed, v1 by v2, its power becomes -1, right? Its power becomes -1, right? So what we'll get? We'll get T2 by T1 is equal to v1 by v2, v1 by v2 raised to power gamma minus 1, v1 by v2 raised to power gamma minus 1. So let us call this as equation number 13. Let's call this as equation number 13. And these two equations, which I have written just, okay, they will be useful for you throughout the thermodynamics. These two equations are very, very important, right? So this is a relationship between temperature and pressure. This is a relationship between temperature and volume. Okay. So let us write down a single equation. Okay. So I'll just write down that single equation. T2 by T1. See, T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Okay. Again is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power gamma minus 1 is equal to V1 by V2 raised to power gamma minus 1. Okay, so we got one more equation, and this equation number 14. Okay, this will be very useful. Okay, see, what I've done, I compare, see, their left hand sides are equal, so their right hand sides are equal. So I've written a single equation which contains temperature, pressure, and volume. Okay, so this equation will be very useful, right? This equation will be very useful. Is it okay? All of you, is it okay? Let me know. Is it okay or not? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this what we got the now relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. Okay, so once this is done, what we used to do after PVT relation, we used to calculate work transfer, right? So let's calculate work transfer. Okay, so let's go to the C point, and that is work transfer. Work transfer. We need to calculate work transfer, right? So I'll just explain you how to calculate the work transfer. Okay, so let's calculate the work transfer. Let's calculate the work transfer. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, see, all of you, our process is adiabatic. Which process we have? Adiabatic. So we are interested to calculate now work transfer. Okay, so let's calculate it. Okay, so we need to calculate the work transfer. How we used to calculate the work transfer? Formula for work transfer is W122, right? So W122 is given by integration PdV for process 1 to 2, right? W122 is given by integration PdV for process 1 to 2. Okay, so see, we are interested to calculate W12. We need to calculate it for process 1. So we'll do that. Right? So let's do that. Let's do this. Okay, how to do this? Integration PdV, right? Integration PdV. Let's solve it. Okay, so E is equal to, I'll just write down E is equal to, now see, value of P should be known to me, right? What is P? Okay, so I'll just tell this to you in a rough. Okay, you know that just before we are written, PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Okay, PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. This is the law for the adiabatic process. So what is P? P is given by, from this we will write down, okay, what is the value of P? It is given by C by V raised to power gamma. Okay, so 1 to C divided by V raised to power gamma. Okay, this is the value of P. P is given by C divided by V raised to power gamma into dV. Right? So this I will write down as integration 1 to 2. Okay, otherwise I'll just write down here on. Okay, integration. See, I'll just write down here on. So yeah, see how we'll solve it. Integration 1 to 2 C V raised to power gamma into dV. C is a constant value. We'll take it out. C integration 1 to 2. See, integration 1 to 2. C is a constant value. 1 by V raised to power gamma dV. Right? 1 by V raised to power gamma dV. Okay. So E is equal to C integration 1 to 2. Okay. 1 by V raised to power gamma is V raised to power minus gamma into dV. V raised to power minus gamma into dV. Right? So how we used to solve? So E is equal to C What is the integration of v raised to power minus gamma? Okay, so it is given by v raised to power minus gamma plus 1 upon v upon minus gamma plus 1. Yes or no? For the process 1 to 2. See what is the integration of x square? It's x cubed by 3. We are adding 1 to its power. So we have added 1 and that same power we are written in the denominator. Right? Do you agree with this one? Have you agree? Do you agree with what is written? Okay, so I'll just rewrite it as c, okay, c into v raised to power 1 minus gamma upon 1 minus gamma, okay, raised to for the process 1. Okay, minus 1 plus gamma I have written as 1 minus gamma, nothing else added. Right? Now let's put this value. Okay, so E is equal to, okay, is equal to, you can check it. See, C and this 1 minus gamma, it's a constant value, right? 1 minus gamma, it's a constant value. Okay, now what is remaining? It's upper limit minus lower limit, right? So V2 raised to power 1 minus gamma minus V1 raised to power 1 minus gamma, right? Say yes or no? Let me know. See, upper limit minus lower limit, right? So that is what is there. You can check it. 1 minus gamma, it is a constant value, so it will remain in the denominator only. Right? So now let us solve this. Let us solve this. How will solve it? How to solve it? So we will do that, right? So C into, you can check, C into V2 raised to power 1 minus gamma minus C into V1 raised to power 1 minus gamma upon 1 minus gamma, right? Upon 1 minus gamma. Right? Yes or no? Let me know. See, yes or no, all of you, are you able to understand it or not? And what is the value of C? See, what is the value of C? You can check it. All of you, just see here. What is the value of C? It is either P1 V1 raised to power gamma or P2 V2 raised to power gamma, right? So that value I'll put. So value of C, I will put it as P2 V2 raised to power gamma into V2 raised to power 1 minus gamma as it is minus. Now value of C, I will put this value of C now. Okay. So into P1 V1 raised to power gamma, you can check it. P1 V1 raised to power gamma into V1 raised to power 1 minus gamma. Okay. Upon 1 minus gamma. Upon 1 minus gamma. Is it okay? Yes or no? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it okay? Right? So I will write down this as W122 is given by, what we will get? P2 into this what? V2 raised to power gamma. I'll just write down P2 into V2 raised to power gamma. Okay, here it is a multiplication. So this becomes addition. So plus 1 minus gamma. Similarly, minus P1 V1 raised to power gamma plus 1 minus gamma, right? Upon 1 minus gamma, right? Upon 1 minus gamma. So what we'll get here? P2 V2 raised to power, you can check. Okay, plus gamma minus gamma gets cancelled. What is remaining? Only plus 1 minus P1 V1 P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon 1 minus gamma, right? Okay, see this gamma gets cancelled. What is remaining? It's only 1, right? So we can write down this equation as P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon gamma minus 1. Yes or no? P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon gamma minus 1, right? Now just before we have written P1 V1 is equal to MRT1, okay? So that we can put P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. P2 V2 is equal to MRT2 upon gamma minus 1, right? So it becomes MR T1 minus T2 upon gamma minus 1, right? So E is equal to M. What is R upon gamma minus 1? What is R upon gamma minus 1? You can check it. See, nothing new I'm telling. What is R upon gamma minus 1? It's CV, right? It's CV. So R upon gamma minus 1 is CV, okay, into T1 minus T2, right? because CV is equal to R upon gamma minus 1. Okay? Because CV is equal to R upon gamma minus 1. You can check it. Right? And what is MCV T1 minus T2? It is nothing but change in internal energy, right? So I'll give it as minus change in internal energy. Okay, because formula for delta U is MCV into T2 minus T1. This is the formula for change in internal energy. And what we are getting? We are getting MCV T1 minus T2. So it's a minus change in internal energy. Minus change in internal energy. Right? Have you understood this one? Let me know. Have you understood? Is it okay or not? Okay. So let's calculate now heat transfer. What is a heat transfer during adiabatic process? So heat transfer, it is indicated by Q, and we are interested to calculate for process 1 to 2. As it's an adiabatic process, obviously heat transfer is 0. Directly, heat transfer is 0. Next, calculate change in internal energy. Let's calculate what is the change in internal energy. Okay, so whether it is any process, formula for change in internal energy, it is same. Okay, so delta U is given by MCV. Here only I have written MCV T2 minus T1. MCV T2 minus T1. See, it might be any process. Formula will remain same. Whether it is change in internal energy or it is a change in enthalpy or it is change in enthalpy. Okay, so let's calculate the formula for change in enthalpy. That is delta H. Okay, so as I told you in the previous lectures only, delta H formula is MCP T2 minus T1. See, because these formulas are basically derived from the formula or basic definition of CV and CP. What is CV? It is change in it is a rate of change of internal energy with respect to temperature when volume is held constant. What is CP? It is a rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature when pressure is held constant. So this formula will never change. They will remain same irrespective of any process, whether it's a constant pressure, volume, constant temperature, adiabatic or polytropic. Right? So these two formula will remain same. Okay, but only for isothermal, where T2 is equal to T1. Okay, change in internal energy is 0 and change in enthalpy is 0. Right? So have you understood this one? Have you understood? Have you understood this one or not? Let me know. Let me know. Have you understood this one? Clear
Yes,
or not? So this was some of the longer derivation. Okay, how we have started? Okay, let me rewind that. How we have started? We have started. See, in the previous lectures, we have seen first constant volume process, then constant pressure process, then constant temperature process. So these three processes were over. In this lecture, we have started with adiabatic process. It is also known as constant entropy process or isentropic process or reversible adiabatic or frictionless process. Right? So we have started with the first law of thermodynamics for a closed system, because we are seeing this process for a closed system. Okay, so we have started the first law of thermodynamics for a closed system, okay, which undergoes a non-cyclic process. If it's a cycle, Q is equal to W. But this is not a cycle. That's why there is a difference between Q and W, and that is given by changing internal energy, right? So you can see. So from this, okay, we have calculated the value of del Q, but del Q was 0. So we have got this equation. In this equation, we have written the value of P as RT by V. That we have resubstituted here. Then this equation we are divided by CV by T. So we got this equation. So R by CV is gamma minus 1. So we got again one more equation. Now this equation we have integrated. Okay. So when we integrated, we got it. Integration of 1 by T is log T. Integration of 1 by V is log V. Integration of 0 is constant. So it's log A plus log B. So we have written it as log A into B. We have written it as log A into B. Okay. So we got the value of temperature. Now we have written basic equation. PV is equal to RT. And from that, we have calculated the value of T. Okay. Now their left-hand sides are equal. We have equated their right-hand sides. So we got the equation for the adiabatic process. So this is the governing equation for the adiabatic process. For isothermal process, PV is equal to C. For adiabatic process, PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Okay, so this was the equation which you got, right? Next, once we have this equation, we started with the PV diagram. Okay, so PV diagram, they're going to look same as for isothermal process, but if you need to differentiate it, we need to write down the law. Okay, if it is isothermal, it's only PV is equal to C. Okay, we have it adiabatic, so it's PV raised to power gamma is equal to C. Okay, you can see for one, the pressure is increasing and volume is decreasing. So that's why it's an expansion. So whenever expansion, work is produced, that's why it's a positive. For second diagram, pressure is increasing but volume is decreasing. Okay, so such process, it is compression, and obviously during compression the work is consumed, that's why it is taken as negative. Okay, now based on what equation we got PV is equal to C. So from that we have written for state 1 and state 2. Once we have it, okay, we calculated the value of P1 by P2 and P2 by P1. Then we applied the ideal gas equation. From those, their left hand sides, right hand sides are equal, we have equated their left hand side. So from their left hand side, we have written the value of T2 by T1. And in this equation, first we have replaced V2 by V1. Okay, so we got the value of T2 by T1 as P2 by P1 raised to power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Now, instead of V2 by V1, we have replaced P2 by P1. Right, so that P2 by P1 we have replaced as V1 by V2 raised to power gamma. We got one more equation that will be in terms of volume. Okay, so their right hand sides are left hand sides are equal. We have equated their right hand side, and we got one equation, and that equation will be very useful. Okay, throughout the thermodynamics. So this is a relationship between temperature, pressure, and volume. Initial temperature by final temperature, initial pressure by final pressure is equal to initial volume by final volume, and their powers are gamma minus 1 by gamma and gamma minus 1. Now we have calculated work transfer. This is the basic formula for P work transfer. Okay, then we have written the value of P from this equation. This equation, it is law for the adiabatic process. Okay, now what we have done, we have just integrated it. So once we have integrated it, okay, so at the end, we got the value of work transfer. Okay, so work transfer can be like this. See, for work transfer, you can use either this formula, right? You can use either this formula, okay, or you can use this formula. See, you can use any formula, either this or this or this. They will give you the same answer, right? Now heat transfer is 0 because adiabatic, it's simply see, name of the adiabatic, it only indicates that heat transfer is 0. So during adiabatic process, heat transfer is 0. Next, for isothermal, for change in internal energy, how will calculate change in internal energy? mCVT2 minus T1. How we used to calculate change in enthalpy? mCVT2 minus T1, right? So these two formula will remain same irrespective of any process. Have you understood this one? Let me know. Have you understood? Is it okay? Have you understood these processes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is there any doubt or difficulty? Let me know. If not, we will conclude the today's session, and in the next session, we will take the polytropic process.